There's only so many times in life where something pops up that's so gosh dang cool it requires immediate assimilation into my household, and the MiSTer project is absolutely one of those things. I'm not an old head or anything, but I grew up with a ton of free time on my hands, and my older brother wasted no time getting me into emulation on my crappy Android tablet. I spent a ridiculous amount of time playing games over the years on various consoles, just on a touch screen. Seriously, I can't imagine why I didn't just hook a controller up. But anyways, that's all besides the point. I recently got my hands on a consumer CRT television, courtesy of my older brother who had like 5 sitting in his garage for some reason. I didn't know what I was going to do with it yet, but hey, at least I had it and it was mine. Now, on the side, I was looking for a good retro emulation machine. A Raspberry Pi or custom Mini-ITX build was on the table, using either RetroArch or Battlestar Linux. It's not that there was anything inherently wrong with these approaches, it just wasn't pulling me towards them personally. I eventually stumbled across a video from Linus Tech Tips where they did a review of like a 4K scaler or something, and in the video there was a brief mention of a MiSTer FPGA device. So I looked into it and was, to my financial detriment, immediately hooked in by some of its key points. It was an all-in-one emulation solution which has a clean, standardized on-screen display, real analog output with zero latency, accurate emulation which more closely mimics original hardware. Not that that matters, but you know, and an open source community of ridiculously talented developers constantly improving it. And so I researched and eventually placed an order for everything I'd need, and while it was not cheap, it could easily replace pricey original consoles, or even those like mini re-releases that companies come up with, and cartridges as well, if that's something you're into. It can genuinely be a good value depending on who you ask. So I ordered a DE10 Nano from Terrasic, a 128MB SD RAM board from Retro Remake, and a main board to house the components and connectors. Now, because my heart was already set on a Mini-ITX form factor and I'm a bougie elitist, I chose D3F Mod's Ironclad DX for my main board. It's definitely a bit on the pricey side, but it has excellent build quality, excellent quality components, convenient add-on options, and lots of other sick features, most of which I'm probably never going to use. For the case, I ordered a MININGEEK GM100 because it was small and sleek and it had a nice plain white paint on it. It's also entirely made of fairly thick steel. I think it might be indestructible. I don't know, maybe I'll test that in another video. Also got a USB 3.0 to 2.0 adapter for the front panel connectors, a Noctua NFA 4x10cm fan, an SD card, and a cardboard box which I'd use for assembly.
Oh yeah.
Since I didn't have any good controllers built for the kind of D-pad centric gaming I was going to do, I picked up an SN30 Pro and an arcade stick from 8BitDo. I already had a couple of their regular controllers and I enjoy their quality, so it was kind of an easy sale for me. And well, after about a month and a half of waiting due to one of Spain's international shippers discovering what tariffs were, my Ironclad DX arrived, joining the cabal of random electronic parts sitting on my kitchen counter. And yeah, anyways, it's time to assemble this thing. I'm passing this off to real life Luke.
I got a cup of coffee and we're ready to go. It's a brisk Sunday morning today, and I have everything that I could ever need right over here. First thing I gotta do is I plan to paint this, but the thing came a little faster than I expected, so here we are. So I'm gonna put the this guy back in. As you can see, it works. I can push the button. That would turn the power on if there was a board in here. There's not right now. It's working circuit. This is the all-important DE10 here. I've unboxed it like 20 times already. I like to test it and make sure everything works, but let's just pretend this is the first time I'm taking it apart. Take my socks off. You're not getting a foot reveal today. This video gets 100 likes, I'll do a foot reveal. DE10 Nano. We're gonna be taking off the top here. All right, so there's the removed board. As you can see, it's got a bunch of details. All right, now that I have this, you're probably wondering what's next. Me too. Boom. I've also already opened this and looked at it. Again, we're gonna pretend like it's the first time I've ever opened it. It was very well packaged when it came in. Everything was secured, nothing was damaged. There we go. And here it is, Ironclad DX. Boom, from D3F Mod. Very, very cool. Like an ATX power connector, that's pretty cool. It's got a coin cell battery for the RTC clock. It's got a whole bunch of outputs and I/O. Very, very cool. And it has a bunch of other stuff that I don't even know what they do, but we're gonna find out today. One thing I saw is that the B board actually has these corners on it, which I believe are supposed to be clipped off. We have the Snack DB9 adapter right here, which also should be clipped off. We have this little guy in the corner here. It has a little inwards label on it. I'm not sure what it is though. Oh wait, no, here it is. LTC con spacer. There you go. I'm gonna take this off here. Ooh, there we go. It's gonna come off. So we've got the unknown thing that I was talking about. I'm gonna set this right here. Ooh. There we go. There we go. Got that there. This actually comes with, there's a side for the MiSTer Pi, which is another project. They weren't available when I got my DE10, so I just have that. But MiSTer Pi and QM Tech on the bottom, and then the DE10 on the top. All right, I'm back. Thanks for waiting for me, guys. All right. We also have this little micro SD card ribbon adapter here, which I can guess what that's gonna do. All right, so the next step is we're going to go ahead and hook up this guy into the Ethernet in. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. Oh, I have a syndrome of sorts. And then we also have do the 3-pin as well while we're here. Okay, yeah, this is. All right, so we got 2 things in now. And oh, so this port on the thing is what goes onto this. So I go ahead and plug that in. Okay, so now, so it has this, and now this USB will go into the GE10 once I mount it. Cool. I'm guessing that the Ethernet port on this is going to face this way because this is going to wrap around, yeah, like that. So lift the temperature probe's head to be 1 millimeter higher than the pillars. What? Something that I didn't realize that this thing right here is actually the temperature probe. It can it's just soldered on, but it can go up and down like this. So you can kind of adjust it, and I assume that it's going to go right below the bottom of the DE10 to, sense the temperature and all that. I'm going to take these off, I think. Now the board is going to go like this, right on here. Yep. So these are going to go on the ones labeled A and B, which is going to be the ones facing me at this point. Not too firmly, but just a little bit. All right, now the Ethernet extension should go in here. The USB connector is going to go right here. Do I have this on the right side? I don't know. No, it's just a tight fit. Okay, we're good. All right, next up is our LTC spacer. So this guy right here, there's a little inwards label here. I'm just gonna stick this right on here. So press from the bottom. Coffee. All right, here's the B board here. It's gonna go somewhere. Okay. The SD card thing is right here on the B board, and then that lines up with where your little thing is. Okay. It looks janky, but it really isn't. It's actually quite nice. Let's see, up here, I got this fan, and I'm not really sure just where it's supposed to. Maybe right there. All right, so we're on our 3rd battery and our 3rd take because the GoPro keeps killing itself. Ribbon cable. So it's probably gonna go like that. There's like a set of pins that are intentionally blocked off on the Ironclad DX, and so I'm gonna take this off. As for the direction, I don't know if it matters, but there's a triangle here. There we go. And then this is gonna go right on here. And then I've got a triangle here, and I've got a triangle on the board, so I'm gonna just assume that's correct. And then we also have the AV connector for the B board. Here it's gonna connect this guy to this guy here. It seems to be standard having a triangle on these, so I'm gonna just match it up again. All right, we got it. Like that. All right. Now it's time to install the DB9 snack port. The DB9 connector is positioned over top of the user I/O and the 5-volt DC. And I'm just gonna line this up here with the pins. I'm gonna go ahead and put the I/O shield on. There's 2 more screws on the Ironclad as well on the, what is it? This is the VGA out. I think that's what that is. Good stuff. So this lines up right here. All good stuff. And then, yeah, these screws will hold it in place. All right, here we go. So we have this installed now. We have the board completed. Well, I shouldn't say completed. I have really no idea, to be honest with you. But yeah, everything is looking good. And here's the front on my camera. As you can see, very, very, very cool. No, I need to put this on first. Shoot. All right, I ain't hoping that's good enough. Okay, I got it. Okay, you have to pull the silicone things through the board, like this. having to trim these here because they're running into the heatsink. Hoping it holds together. It should. Alright, so the fan is installed now. We've got it plugged up to the PWM fan header. Alright, and one more thing that I have to install is the MiSTer FPGA 128 megabytes of SD RAM from Retro Remake. It is rated for like 180, 150 megahertz, I think, something like that. So, pretty cool. Whew, that's a tight fit. I went ahead and got a CR2025 and a CR2032. One is for the remote while I was thinking about it. So this one takes 2025, and then the board itself takes a CR2032. Got it in there, so it's good. Good, and I'm like stamped. My fingers are stamped now, so it's interesting. The remote actually comes with a little IR sensor here, and I remembered that I wasn't going to install it, but I feel like I probably should now. All right, we got barbecue chicken alert. My dad helped me drill a little hole here for the IR sensor. Another screw, not included, that will go right in that hole. Here's the metal bracket that we made. It's just a bracket, and it has a little extra hole cut out there. It's gonna go right over this, go right over here, and then this lines up nice and perfect with the hole there. Here's the full thing assembled. It's actually really nice how that turned out. Actually, you look at the front. It's not the cleanest. It's not the cleanest thing in the world, but you know what? It'll get the job done. And yeah, it's basically just a piece of insulating material, squish between it, and this guy is nice, firmly in place as long as the screws in. Front panel's in. How does it look? Put that back around. Set down. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah. There we go. Nice. All right, and we have the motherboard screws here. Luke learning he doesn't need an ultra wide shot. Okay. All right, IO shield is looking good. Good and flush with the thing. And now I'm going to be connecting this up with the IR sensor. What do we have here? We have HD audio. I'm not sure what that pin is, but I can't use it, so I gotta clip it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. Hope some prayers it'll just fit. Yes, it does. We're good. All right. And then we have our USB with our USB to 3.0 to 2.0 adapter, just like so. All right, now it's time to set up the SD card and get this all ready to roll. All right, so I've got my SD card flashed with the MiSTer Fusion installer thing. Just click in. Oh, nice. All right, so SD card's in. This was included. It was a little addition that I could buy with it. It's a VGA to composite and svideo converter, and this TV happens to have composite on it. Plug the adapter into the guy here. So there we go. Now it's time to find a composite cable. I couldn't find one in my bin of cables, but I did end up finding all of our boxes of random stuff. Should have something in here. I think this is what I'm looking for. Got this guy, this should be what I need. It actually doesn't look like, it looks like I have an audio out, but I don't have, yeah, I probably should have studied that a little bit more, but that's fine. Oh, yeah, long enough. Oh, shoot. 5-volt DC, here we go. All right, we have a red light. What could that mean? Is it good? Does it mean it has power? Oh, we're gonna hit the power button and just see what happens. One beep. It's purple and blue. It's kind of cool. Oh, I should probably turn the TV on. Oh, we've got something. It's desynced like crap, but oh, we got video. The sync is a little bit off, I'm gonna be honest, but look at that, it's there, it's playing. Okay, I'm gonna get the SD card back. Now I gotta put it back in my computer, do a little bit of config, and then get back to this.
So it didn't end up being hard at all to configure the MiSTer. I popped the SD card back into the PC, created a main INI file based on the included example that they had, and I configured that boy up. In order to get the terminal to show on the CRT, I had to enable the direct video option, which I guess in the menu core makes the terminal composite itself to the analog output. It doesn't seem super straightforward, but it works, so here we are. After adding the Epsilon's update all script to my scripts folder, I set up Wi-Fi and then ran the update all script. It automatically grabbed a ton of arcade cores and organized them with some nice categories, downloaded all the main computer and console cores. It also grabbed some extra scripts and utility cores while I was at it. The whole process took only about 10 or so minutes. The MiSTer's configuration file is split up into sections. The stuff at the top is global, and then there's per core settings after that. There's also a special section called Arcade to target settings for all arcade cores at once. I decided to enable the MiSTer's built-in scaler for my CRT on the arcade cores only, since the resolutions can vary pretty massively between them. I tried for a while, and the only thing I got to work was setting manual mode lines under the video mode option, and figuring those out took a long, frustrating time. I really wish there was some other documentation to help out with figuring them out. While I was at it, I also used the arcade vertical section to rotate the on-screen display for those vertical cores, since I can just rotate the entire CRT on its side when I want to play those titles. It works surprisingly well, and it's freaking great now. Targeting 240p with a scaler does introduce a little bit of shimmering in a lot of the arcade cores, especially the ones that target higher native resolutions, but honestly, that's to be expected, and it's not too bad. Now, in the midst of all that, my brother revealed that he happened to have a Sanwa joystick just lying around waiting to be used, so he gave it to me to put it in my 8BitDo arcade stick. I needed to order a 5-pin cable to hook the stick up to the pins in the 8BitDo, but it was trivial to install after that, and it feels super nice and responsive. Seriously, like 10 out of 10 on this thing. And yeah, that's my MiSTer build. I've been having a blast not only playing through nostalgic titles for me, but also new stuff I've never dipped my toes in before. There's so much good stuff out there, seriously. The MiSTer is absolutely the best way to do retro gaming, like 100%. However, that's not to say that its competition is very far behind. Let me do a couple of pros and cons real quick, starting with the cons. There's not a lot of emulation hardware out there that'll trump the cost of a MiSTer system, and the available cores stopped being feasible around 1996, 97, so newer consoles will need to be streamed over the network using something like Groovy MiSTer. I actually plan on messing around with that once I get a high bandwidth network cable in my room, but for now, it's just the super classics. The configuration can be a little bit confusing, and the manual mode lines thing did suck. The global controller configuration took a little bit of getting used to because of how verbose it is, but you could consider that a good thing. Another thing that's hard to call a con is that the hardware is primarily driven by the community, so it's not as easy as just going on Amazon and picking a MiSTer up. Projects like the Multisystem 2 and the Superstation look like solid attempts to make the MiSTer project more commercially accessible though, so stay on the lookout in case supply catches up there. Alright, and then the pros. Once the MiSTer's set up, it can be booted almost instantly. It's so great for sitting down and just getting a session in with zero fuss. It has native analog output and plenty of configuration options for loads of possible scenarios, and the ecosystem is well developed, and the community is so passionate about retro gaming. Snack adapters make it possible to use original controllers with zero lag, like guns included, and the MiSTer's built-in Samba server is a really nice way to access it over the network. USB support is just exceptional with configurable polling rate and per core mappings that actually save to the system and will just stick there forever. The built-in scaler and CRT features apparently are really good as well, but I don't have a nice monitor to plug it up to just yet to try that out. And I could go on, but honestly, I'm going to need a few months with it to get my full opinion. And yeah, that's it. I really couldn't be happier with how this whole setup turned out. And my game backlog has instantly quadrupled in size. I've got the setup moved into my room, along with the controllers and a beanbag, the usual stuff. And links to everything I mentioned in the video are in the description in case you want to check them out, beanbag not included. This is way different than my normal style of video, and I'm not really expecting to make a whole lot more, so don't hit that subscribe button. But a like would be sick, that would be great. Thanks for watching, y'all. It's time for me to go back into hibernation for the next year. Peace.